MJF will always hit a solid home run, if not a grand slam. And he cuts right into Ricky Starks, calling him a dollar store version of The Rock. He even gets in, I think they were in San Antonio, right? Which is his adopted hometown, because apparently he wrestled in that area and became a big star, right? Locally. But he even got that crowd to start chanting the Pebble at Ricky Starks. Mm-hmm. There's something to be said that even when you're the biggest heel and you go into that person's hometown, when they chant the bad thing at the babyface, you're pretty fucking good. Now, this is a smarky crowd, as they say, right? They're in on it too, but still, I thought it was impressive.
Pretty easily, but it was. Right. It was very impressive.
So I thought it was pretty impressive that he could get the Pebble chant for Ricky Starks. Now, Ricky Starks, to his credit, never lets it look like it gets to him. He kind of just smirks and stares off into the crowd while all the insults are just hitting him in the face. Then he gives him a good old shoulder check and gets on the mic. And Tim, this is probably, I'm not that familiar with anything Ricky Starks has done before AEW, just complete transparency. I know he was in NWA. MJF mentioned it, that he's going to send him back there. But I don't know his promo ability as far as like where he ranks amongst the greats of right now. However, that has to be top 5, and it's not 2, 3, 4, or 5 of his best promos. And that was an AEW all-timer. What did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. So, again, I thought all the same things. MJF comes out, he's foreshadowing to Bryan Danielson, and I don't think even as we discussed this greatest promo Ricky Starks might have ever cut, I still don't feel like people are like, Ricky Starks has a shot at winning this title right now. So the Bryan Danielson thing, MJF is the master of setting up the next thing so we can run that footage when we're selling this thing. However, the good storyline to tell there is he's looking past Ricky Starks, and oops, now Ricky Starks gets one over and he's the champ, but that would really throw so many things off, and I just doubt they're going that way. But Ricky Starks took this moment and this opportunity to elevate himself to a level that I didn't think we would place him at otherwise. And yeah, he cuts down MJF's whole existence. He just shit on everything he is, right? Like just in rapid fire, and then goes into a Dusty Rhodes Hard Time-esque, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, like say I'm wrestling on YouTube, like I've done it, motherfucker. Like now I'm here and I'm ready to kick your ass. Loved all of this. I was just, I mean, like I had to watch it several times because I was just like, that guy fucking murdered this man. It was great.
So I have a lot of thoughts on this promo. One, again, I think it's an AEW all-timer, and to me, the best promo of Ricky Starks' young career, because again, I don't know any independent promos he's done, right? Also, this was another thing that we've talked about in the past. This is Ricky Starks. When he can look at MJF and say, crappy shoes, your pants are never pressed, your shirt's too tight, you have an ugly haircut, the scarf is a piece of shit. Like, that's Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks was never Team Taz in the Red Hook section. We talked about that in the past where it felt like Scorpio Sky would have been better in Team Taz, and Ricky Starks and Ethan Page as the Men of the Year would have been a better fit for Ricky Starks. I think this promo proved that point. Again, that's in the past, nothing to pat ourselves on the back on, but that version of Ricky Starks really shined through of, hey, you think you dress well? You fucking don't. And here's how I can tell. Cheap shoes, too small of a shirt, bad pants, you know, all that stuff. And it was like, God damn. And then he even said, like, you think you can compare to moi? And it was just like, fuck yeah.
The line that I think gets glanced over too was the one he came out the gate with was, every week you come out here smelling like paint thinner and ass. And as much as we love MJF, you look at him and you go, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I bet he does smell like paint thinner and ass. It's so fun.
Well, the line that was a great line. The line that for me that I thought may have cut a little bit too close to the heart was how he says he gets a spray tan on his eczema. Like, goddamn. Because that's the one thing I will say this. Side note before we get back into it. My wife, reads a book while Dynamite is on, but she'll glance up every so often. And MJF will say some type of one-liner that will make her stop reading and be like, what the hell is this, right? And every time she's ever seen him, her first comment is, man, his hands are way too spray tanned. Because his hands are orange every fucking week.
Mm-hmm.
Face looks like this, and hands looks like a fucking hot dog. And it's an eyesore. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I thought that was actually pretty cut to the beat.
Yeah.
Now,
I know. Yep.
The other thing I'll say is this kind of made you see Ricky Starks in a different light, right? We were like, whoa. And here's the thing. I agree with you. I think the writing is on the wall from the foreshadowing of Bryan Danielson. Ricky Starks, again, if you're a betting man, is not going to win this match. Here's where you can't drop the ball. You can't have him do that amazing promo. I imagine the match is going to be good because one, MJF rarely has bad matches. Ricky Starks is obviously a good wrestler.
Same. Yeah.
So what you can't do is MJF low blows him, gets the 1, 2, 3, and then we don't see Ricky Starks for 4 weeks.
Right. Yeah,
that's
wrestling
what cannot happen.
Ethan Page.
Right. Well,
in the first
that
hour.
can be something. Yeah, that can be something, but make it sure it's the following week is what I'm getting at. You can't just do these throwaway things. Here's the other thing I thought, and tell me what you think about this. And this is maybe going too high level of an overview of AEW, but we've always been told of these pillars, right? I can't remember who was the first one to say it, but then pillars became the conversation of AEW's, youth movement, moving towards 2023 and beyond, right? And it was Darby Allin, MJF, Sammy Guevara, and who was the fourth one? Britt Baker? Oh, and Jungle Boy. Yeah, Jungle Boy. In my opinion, even though I forgot him, Jungle Boy, I would say, is your heartthrob. Darby Allin is your must-see TV, which we'll talk about in just a moment. MJF is your foundation. But after this promo and some of his matches, Ricky Starks? I haven't seen Sammy Guevara stand on his own, be as believable as that. Now, they were also in his hometown.
Yeah, but Ricky Starks has, so, he called him Dollar Store Dwayne and said, you're ripping off The Rock, because he does have some of those mannerisms, I think, but it's also because he's one of those guys that when you walk in the room, he has charisma, and he's understood that, and so you kind of get a swagger about you when you're a stud. Mm-hmm. Tom. I mean, and, come on, we know. If you look, some people think Sammy Guevara is attractive. I'm not going to discredit the man. I think he's got a top 5 punchable face in pro wrestling history. But if you walk in Ricky Starks, it's not like he's, either one of these guys are clearly above the other. And I bet Ricky Starks is probably going to get some more attention from ladies, some of the fellas. Like he's a guy that if you walk in the room, you'd be like, who is that guy? And so, I think he's probably more apt to get you more, or I would put him as a pillar, right? I think I would push him a little more than the Sammy Guevara. If that makes sense.
I think he just has a little bit more seasoned reps with his presence.
Correct.
Now,
yes.
I think, again, the thing that was holding him back, and it was no one's real fault, but the Team Taz thing was just a miscast character. That just did not fit into what Powerhouse Hobbs, Hook, and Taz are. He just never fit, in my eyes, just never fit in there. So we kind of always looked at least for me, I'll speak for myself, I always thought of him as just, But now that he can be flashy shirts, talks about how bad your style is, can do a big spear, which took MJF out of his shoes, for Christ's sake, which was a good touch. That, I think, can be positioned as, okay, all those spots that we had set for Sammy when he got away from Inner Circle and it kind of fell flat, let's put Ricky Starks in those, right? And let him go with that. That's, again, high-level overview. But let's get back to the promo. So Ricky Starks then transitions out of just the visual insults of who MJF is, talks about how he can't handle responsibility. He talks about how he would show up to autograph signings, which MJF would not. He talked about how he doesn't run away to Greece for 3 months because he didn't get his way, which MJF apparently did. Alluding to, we don't know, but alluding to, that's what he did. And the thing that I thought was the coolest part of this whole thing is the Hall of Fame-esque promos that we have got from MJF literally since day one. When he made fun of Bret Hart and said, "Oh, there's a fan coming," and it made Bret Hart snicker. And then when he called Hangman Adam Page Seabiscuit. I mean, since that time, we have millions of other great one-liners. But for him to not respond and then low blow him, again, I like battle rap. To me, that says Ricky Starks won.
Right.
That says Ricky Starks won, which you can count on one finger how many people have done that, right? And so
correct.
That I thought was the coolest part of the whole thing.
And that's what I mean. I think he took this moment because, yes, he won this battle, right? Could Ricky Starks win the next 7 out of 8 battles with MJF? Maybe not, right? But he got his one, and now we're going into a match with a whole lot more interest than we were before. Yeah. And the whole Ricky Starks persona has, like I said, elevated to another level for me now. Now I've got some backstory of driving motivator for this guy, right? Like he's showed some badass stripes, right? Like he showed he's not afraid, and that he's like, no, I am this moment. I am the fucking star, right? Like, get out of my way. And so I couldn't have liked this more. I do worry, like you said, what happens after this, because I don't think there's a chance in hell. Now, again, another good story is Bryan Danielson shows up and costs MJF the title, and Ricky Starks got it. But I just don't think we're there yet either with Ricky Starks has the AEW World title. So
no, but my biggest concern is you have to have him follow up the following week. You can't have him go out and we catch him in January's, New Year's Eve show. You got to keep the ball rolling with this.
Yeah. But we do need the Table Nation to tell us what you thought. So hit us up in the chats, the Twitters, the Table Show. Tell us what you thought of the Ricky Starks promo and what happens next when he undoubtedly loses this. We'll make picks, of course, when the time comes, but he's losing.
Yeah.